welcome back to Knuppe Ranch. So today we're over checking out cows. We're going to do a little work over here in our summer pasture, set up some electric fences. We got a half-mile electric fence to put up for so we can get set up to do some rotational grazing in some of the hay fields over here. And we've got some other fences to put up, check the cows and move them, and put some vinegar out, check some waters, and just do a whole bunch of maintenance over here. So we got over here this morning and the cows are fairly antsy to move, so we're going to move them today. But while we're over here and we've got other work to do, so we'll be over here for an hour or a little more, we're going to do a high intensive move, which basically means we're going to instead of fencing off a piece that would last them all day, we're going to fence off a piece that is going to last them for the next 45 minutes to an hour. So basically we're going to put all of our cattle into this really small piece, and Cole did the math and he figured if we do what we want to, if we put them in a quarter acre, we'll have 880,000 pounds per acre. So that's pounds of cattle per acre. And then we'll move them through. We'll put them in like quarter acre. So we'll leave them in there for an hour. They'll really eat it off and really trample it off in that quarter acre, really hit it hard. And then after that, we'll let them into a piece that will last them the rest of the day. So why we're doing that is because number one, we have the time to do it today because we're going to be over here for a little while. And number two, because in that quarter acre that we fence off, having 880,000 pounds per acre, that's a lot of hoof action, a lot of weight on the ground, and there's a lot of positive impacts to that for the soil, as far as bringing back native plants, really trampling it off and really getting it cleaned off in that area so that everything is down to the same level. So then when the regrowth starts, everything has an equal chance to grow back. There's not some grass left standing and some that's down. It'll all be down and all be ate off, so it'll all have the equal opportunity to grow back, so that some plants don't grow back better than others, and then the plants that would grow back better than others would have more competition to the plants that got ate off more. So Cole's figuring on his map. On Google Earth is what we use because you can get on there and measure. So he's on there measuring to see where we need to run our fence so that we'd have a quarter acre piece for him. Okay, so Cole did the math, and we're gonna go, it's supposed to be 18 feet, and then it'd be half of this paddock, the width of this paddock. But we're just gonna go the first fence post because 18 feet wouldn't have the water tank in that first 18 feet. So we're just gonna go the first fence post, and then we'll go not quite half. We'll go on this side of half so that we can get our pounds per acre that we want and really see the damage on it. So here's what the grass looks like right now. We'll get it strung out, then we'll get a before and after here. Setting this fence up, we're going to string it all the way across, then we can string a cross fence up between it and the barbed wire fence over here, so that we can put it wherever we want and get our desired pounds per acre, however big we want to make our paddock. So I don't think we're going to be able to do our 880,000 pounds per acre because the math that we did, the piece was going to be so small. I don't think we could fit all the cows in it. So we're going to do a little bit bigger. I think we're going to go shoot for like 500,000 pounds per acre, which will still be plenty. So we're going to shoot for that and see if we can get it done. guys can see it or not, but it's just right there. This little piece is what we're giving them. So this is what it looks like before. Cole's letting them in. We're down here at our solar panel pump now. We've got an app. Well, we got this little Android phone that we keep in the pickup. We got an app on the phone to where we can connect to the pump. We have to have this phone in order to run the pump, but we can download all the data from this summer since we started using the solar pump to see how many gallons it's pumped and see how efficient it has been for us. So we're gonna get this phone set up, downloading all the data so we can check it out a little later, and then we're gonna go string out that ½ mile of fence across this hayfield so we can get ready to rotational graze through that. And then while we're doing all that, the cows are still in that small piece, so it come out to about 270,000 pounds per acre. So we'll leave them in there until we're done stringing up that ½ mile fence. Then we'll let them out into a bigger piece. So we got everything downloaded, all the data off the solar pump. In the last 30 days, it's saved us $110 in electricity. So, but that doesn't count, like we don't have electricity ran down here, obviously, so that's why we have the solar pump. So if we didn't have the solar pump, we'd have to have a generator down here, and we have to be bringing down gas to put in the generator. So there's a cost of gas, there's a cost of gas of us running over here every day to make sure the generator is running. And the generator's full of gas, obviously, so solar pump saves us a little more than $110 every 30 days, so it's working out good for us anyways. It's pumped 18,000 gallons in August, so in the last 17 days it's pumped 18,000 gallons. Okay, so I went and got around some stragglers that didn't come through with the first bunch of cows when we moved them, and Dad and Cole let down the cross fence that we put up, so now they have that whole piece. So we'll go and check them out. We'll give them a new piece for the whole day before we leave and go home, so we'll get to check out what they've done so far, the impact they've had where they are at that 270,000 pounds per acre. So but right now we're just stringing out. We're stringing out this ½ mile of fence here so that we can do cross fencing and rotational grazing in this hayfield. So the reason that we have to string out this ½ mile of electric fence is because there's 2 hayfields over here, and each of the hayfields are ½ mile squared, each one of them, and that's just too big to do the rotational grazing. So ideally, like having a ½ mile spool. So we split this in half, so we have a ½ mile on each side, so then we can use our ½ mile spools of electric fence to move them daily through each half of the hayfields. So that's kind of why we have to do this, because these hayfields are just too big to do them. We don't have no cross fences. We don't have any permanent cross fences in them, just so that when we hay them, then we for us to hay them then. We don't have to go around the cross fences, the permanent ones. So we do a temporary cross fence. So we just let the cows out into their piece that they'll have all day long now. So we'll come over tomorrow and move them again and probably just give them a big piece again. So here's the piece that they were in. You can kind of see a line there faintly, where this is kind of lighter and that's darker. You can kind of tell that the cattle have been in here eating and stuff. So they really didn't do, there's not a whole lot of action. I mean, there's not a lot of grass gone. It's not like they ate it completely down, but there is hoof action. You can see where they trampled some there, and then obviously around the vinegar tank there. So throughout the pasture there is little pieces where they kind of trampled it more and ate more. So it helped us. I mean, was it worth our time? Maybe not, maybe, but there is going to be more impact in this little 1 acre piece than what we gave them all day today. So there's not a huge difference visually, but in the soil and in the grass there was more of a difference than if we were just to give them one big whole piece rather than, you know, just the small piece then the big piece. So there was some value to it. Obviously you can't tell visually, but it was good for it. Good morning, guys. So this morning we're down here again at our summer pasture, and so our summer pasture is we call it the Letty place. So I'm just gonna start saying that instead of saying summer pasture, so just so you guys know anyway. So we're down here at the Letty place this morning and checking on the cows. We're gonna move them. Obviously you guys saw earlier in this video we did a little bit of the high intensive stuff, which didn't really make as big of an impact as I would have liked to see as far as trampling grass and grass gone. So that's just kind of, we're still learning. It's not, we don't have it down pat, and I hope you guys realize that anyway. We don't know everything that we're doing. We're just kind of doing it and hoping to kind of figure it out along the way, and we're learning stuff. We're learning as we go, and it's always, Dad was talking about it yesterday, it's more of a mental thing, really, you know, figuring out exactly how we're going to run them every summer, how we're going to move them, which way we're going to move them, how we move them, how that's going to impact our grass and our soil. Is it a positive? Is it the way that we're wanting to move? Are we going in the right direction? Are we going in the wrong direction? There's just always questions every day, and we don't know the answers to them, but obviously we will, we have resources like YouTube where we can watch other people doing this stuff and learn a thing or two, and hopefully kind of figure out and move in the right direction. So you guys are learning with us, I guess. So we do something that, and obviously, you know, the stuff that works for us or doesn't work for us might work for you. Just it all depends on where you're at, what the situation is, what your grass is like, what your herd is like, everything like that. There's a lot of variables that go into it, so that's kind of the learning part of it. So anyway, we're over here again today. We're gonna move them, just their daily move today. We'll give them a big piece, not a big piece, but big enough to last them through the day. And I might talk a little more when we're over there about why I'm talking about the mental side of doing these daily moves and stuff in the rotational grazing, and kind of how what we think through our minds when we move them, kind of what we think through our minds as we were doing that high intensive stuff yesterday. So once we get over there by the cows, I'll kind of maybe touch on that a little more. So when we're over here doing these daily moves and stuff, you know, some of the things that run through our mind, I guess, while we're moving the cattle is, you know, are we giving them enough grass? Is what we're doing helping our grass or hurting our grass? You know, depending on the amount that we're giving the cows, is what we're doing affecting our cows' health? You know, so we're over here, we're trying to figure out, you know, like exactly, you know, how big of a paddock to give them, how, you know, we've got these paddocks, these long strips that we work our cow herd through, you know, and we've got a bunch of them, and so it's like, you know, how many days do we spend in each paddock? How many moves do we want to give them? Are we moving them once a day or twice a day, or, you know, what's the condition of the grass look like? You know, is it all matured? Is it, you know, is it growing still? Is it green? Is it brown? Are our cows, you know, do they need more? Do they need less? You know, how are the calves looking? You know, all these things that run through your mind when you're doing this. And so that's kind of the biggest thing. Obviously, before anything, the health of our cows comes first. So that's the first thing on our mind before we move is, are we giving them enough grass? You know, how much do we need to give them to get them through today? You know, do they need more than we gave them yesterday? Do they need not as much as we gave them yesterday? Or are we giving them just the right amount? You know, so that's always the number one thing on our mind, is the health of our livestock. And then obviously number two comes the health of our pastures. Are we leaving enough grass for next year? Are we supposed to be leaving this much grass? Are we supposed to be eating it all off? You know, so there's a lot of questions that run through our minds as we're over here moving them, and there's a lot of things to think about. You know, we're not over here just trying to improve the grass, and we're not over here just trying to put weight on the cattle. We're trying to do both at the same time, and so we're trying to juggle two tasks at the same time, and trying to find that sweet spot where everything works together and everything looks good. So there's, you know, that's Dad and I were just talking, you don't see much for changes. You know, this isn't an instant gratification type deal. It takes a while. You know, it takes years. It's not just like we do it one summer, and the next summer all of a sudden we have double the grass. That's not exactly how it works. It takes a lot of time and a lot of years to really build up your soil, especially, you know, we just ran our cattle conventionally for a lot of years, and our main concern was putting weight on the cattle rather than really, I mean, we watched the grass, but it wasn't as much as we are now. So going from that, having that mindset now into this mindset of doing rotational grazing, there's just a lot of changes. It's a lot of stuff to get used to. We've been doing it for 5 or 6 years now, really hard anyway, and so we're still learning though. It's not a perfect thing. What we're doing isn't perfect. This isn't the exact way to do it. We're not saying it is. We're just, the reason for starting this YouTube channel is I want to show you guys the ups and downs of it. I want to show you guys the ins and outs of it, how, you know, what we're doing, it's not perfect, but it works, and it's an alternative way of growing more grass, being able to stock more cattle on your grass and run more cattle and become more profitable, having lower input rates and higher output rates, hopefully. So I don't know, just trying to spread the word anyway. So one of the things we give our cows in the summertime, well, kind of all year round, we give them apple cider vinegar. So we got a little mixture here, I guess. We do. Give them this salt, and then we go ahead and give them 5 gallons of apple cider vinegar and then 5 gallons of water. And they love the stuff. And the apple cider vinegar is supposed to help with digestion, food digestion. It's got other good purposes, but one of the main things is digesting, you know, this grass that's gone dormant towards the end of summer here and stuff. Helps them digest that, and then especially in the wintertime when it's cold out, it helps their bodies to warm up and digest their food a little better. So I don't know, we like it. We've been doing it for a while now, I guess. So that's our little mixture. 5 gallons of apple cider vinegar, 5 gallons of water, and some salt. So I know I was just kind of rambling on, but I guess the point I was trying to make was, you know, you might not be able to see the good that it's doing if you're doing that rotational grazing, and it's not gonna come instantly. You know, the better grass, higher stocking rates, stuff like that. That stuff doesn't come instantly. It takes a couple years. So really you just kind of gotta, in your situation, do what you think is best for your cattle, do what you think is best for your grass, as far as improving your soil, improving your cattle putting on weight, and your condition of your cattle and stuff like that. So it's just really, when it comes down to it, you just kind of got to trust the process and trust what you're doing, because you don't have that instant gratification. So you just can't get, you gotta stay motivated, I guess. You just can't get bored of it or tired of it just because you're not seeing those results right away. So that's kind of, I'd say that's kind of our biggest struggle with it, is that we don't see the improvements right away, but we just have to know that what we're doing is better than what we were doing before, and we just have to keep trusting the process. So, but we just got back home here, and I got to move my pigs. I got to give them some more grass. So we're gonna go down and do that. Okay, so I got the outline of my pig's pen. I've been mowing it. I've been mowing right where I'm gonna put the fence, just because I run this fence lower, obviously, because they're smaller than cows. So I got to run it, you know, probably like within 16 inches of the ground. So I mow it, number one, so that I get a better charge through it. Number two, it's easier to run it. I actually go put it in. I got a line that I can follow easier, and then it's easier for me to bend down, put the wire around the posts and stuff. And then I think it's actually easier when the pigs are grazing and they got their head down. then all of a sudden they come to a patch where there's no grass that's been cut by a lawnmower, then I think that they kind of realize that that is their that's the border of their pen. So I think it kind of helps with that too. So but anyway, I got the fence here unhooked. I'm gonna roll up this wire, and then I'm gonna give them some more grass, get their next section of grass going here. Well guys, we got the pigs moved. It's hot out, I'm sweating. But I think with that, that's just about gonna do it for this video. So thanks for watching guys, we really appreciate it. If you're new here, hit that subscribe button. And as always, we'll catch you in the next one.